In this video I have shown the life-changing true story of 16th President of America Abraham Lincoln and his struggle. How he made his way to White House and elected as a president from a poor background. How he managed to unite America from Civil War childhood. Abraham Lincoln was born in a log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky to Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Thomas was a strong and determined pioneer who found a moderate level of prosperity and was well respected in the community. The couple had two other children, Abraham's older sister Sarah and younger brother Thomas, who died in infancy. Due to a land dispute, the Lincolns were forced to move from Kentucky to Perry County, Indiana in 1817, where the family squatted on public land to scrap out a living in a crude shelter, hunting game and farming a small plot. Thomas was eventually able to buy the land. When young Abraham was 9 years old, his mother died on October 5, 1818, of tramadol milk sickness at age 34. The event was devastating on him, and young Abraham grew more alienated from his father and quietly resented the hard work placed on him at an early age. Just over a year after Nancy's death, in December 1819, Thomas married Sarah Bush Johnston, a Kentucky widow with 3 children of her own. She was a strong and affectionate woman with whom Abraham quickly bonded. Law career. In March 1830, the family again migrated, this time to Macon County, Illinois. When his father moved the family again to Coles County, 22-year-old Abraham Lincoln struck out on his own, making a living in manual labor. At 6 feet 4 inches tall, Lincoln was raw-boned and lanky, but muscular and physically strong. He spoke with a backwoods twang and walked with a long striding gait. He was known for his skill in wielding an axe and early on made a living splitting wood for fire and rail fencing. After the Black Hawk War, Abraham Lincoln began his political career and was elected to the Illinois State Legislature in 1834 as a member of the Whig Party. He supported the Whig politics of government-sponsored infrastructure and protective tariffs. This political understanding led him to formulate his early views on slavery, not so much as a moral wrong, but as an impediment to economic development. It was around this time that he decided to become a lawyer. Entering politics, Abraham Lincoln served a single term in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1847 to 1849. His foray into national politics seemed to be as unremarkable as it was brief. He was the lone Whig from the state of Illinois, showing party loyalty, but finding few political allies. He used his term in office to speak out against the Mexican-American War and supported Zachary Taylor for president in 1848. His criticism of the war made him unpopular back home, and he decided not to run for second term, but instead returned to Springfield to practice law. Elected president in 1854. Congress passed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which repealed the Missouri Compromise, and allowed individual states and territories to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery. The law provoked violent opposition in Kansas and Illinois, and it gave rise to the Republican Party. This awakened Abraham Lincoln's political zeal once again, and his views on slavery moved more towards moral indignation. Lincoln joined the Republican Party in 1856. Civil War. Abraham Lincoln responded to the crisis wielding powers as no other president before him. He distributed $2 million from the Treasury for war material without an appropriation from Congress. He called for 75,000 volunteers into military service without a declaration of war, and he suspended the writ of habeas corpus, arresting and imprisoning suspected Confederate sympathizers without a warrant. Crushing the rebellion would be difficult under any circumstances but the Civil War, with its preceding decades of white-hot partisan politics, was especially onerous. From all directions, Lincoln faced disparagement and defiance. He was often at odds with his generals, his cabinet, his party, and a majority of the American people. Assassination Reconstruction began during the war as early as 1863 in areas firmly under Union military control. Abraham Lincoln favored a policy of quick reunification with a minimum of retribution. But he was confronted by a radical group of Republicans in the Senate and House that wanted complete allegiance and repentance from former Confederates. Before a political battle had a chance to firmly develop, Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865 by well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Lincoln was taken from the theater to a Petersen house across the street and laid in a coma for 9 hours before dying the next morning.
Thank you for watching. If you like video, please like, subscribe our channel.